Your cat just sprinted across the room for no reason, and you laughed. Most people do. They assume it's random energy, a little burst of silliness, maybe just a quirky cat thing. But here's the thing. There is nothing random about it. Every single Zoomie your cat has ever done is a direct message from a nervous system that was built for something your living room was never designed to satisfy. And some of those messages aren't playful at all. Some of them are warnings. What your cat is actually trying to tell you when they zoom might completely change how you see them. Most people assume Zoomies are pure silliness, a random burst of happy energy, a quirky little personality trait that makes cats so entertaining to live with. And that's a comfortable explanation. But it's not the real one. What's actually happening inside your cat during those frantic full-body sprints runs far deeper than anyone gives it credit for. It reaches back thousands of years. And in some cases, it's telling you something about your cat's emotional world that you've been missing entirely. There's a reason this behavior exists. A reason etched into your cat's biology long before they ever set paw in your living room. And once you understand it, you'll never watch those Zoomies the same way again. There's one thing in particular, something that happens right before or right after Zoomies in a lot of cats, that reveals exactly what your cat is feeling inside. We'll get there. But first, let's start at the beginning. Most owners have lived with their cats for years and still write this behavior off as entertainment, a funny glitch in an otherwise calm animal. But what behavioral researchers see when a cat tears through a house at full speed is something else entirely. They see a survival system firing. They see an emotional pressure valve releasing tension that has nowhere else to go. They see an ancient predator doing precisely what ancient predators were built to do. And the deeper you go, the more you realize those Zoomies have been communicating something all along. 1. The hunt that never finished. Picture your cat lying in a patch of afternoon sunlight for 3 hours. Still, relaxed, barely blinking. From the outside, it looks like the definition of peace. But your cat's nervous system tells a more complicated story. Cats are hardwired as ambush predators. Every system in their body, their muscles, their reflexes, their neurological wiring, is built around one core cycle: stalk, chase, pounce, kill, consume. In the wild, that cycle runs several times a day. It has a beginning, a middle, and a satisfying end. Your indoor cat has the exact same wiring, the exact same internal pressure to hunt, but in your living room, nothing ever runs away. Here's the thing. That predatory energy doesn't disappear just because the hunt never happened. It accumulates. It sits beneath the surface of all that calm, building quietly throughout the day. And at some point, the pressure becomes too much to hold. So your cat releases it the only way their biology knows how. They run. The Zoomies aren't random. They're a discharge. A full-body reset of energy that was loaded and never fired. When you watch your cat blast through the house, you're watching a predator complete a hunt that existed entirely inside their nervous system. Not silly, not random, ancient, purposeful, and utterly precise. 2. Why the litter box sends them flying. This one surprises almost every cat owner the first time they hear it. Your cat finishes in the litter box, explodes out of it like the floor is on fire, and sprints across the house at full speed. You've seen it, and you've probably had no idea what to make of it. Most people assume the litter box was dirty or uncomfortable, or that the cat just wanted out of there fast. Some people find it funny and move on. But the post-litter box Zoomies are one of the most behaviorally significant moments in your cat's day. And they reveal something very specific about how your cat's nervous system handles vulnerability. In the wild, using the bathroom is genuinely dangerous. A predator is stationary, focused, distracted. It's one of the only moments when even a skilled hunter becomes exposed. So cats evolved a powerful instinct to to flee that spot the moment they were done. Get away fast. Remove yourself from vulnerability immediately. That drive is so deeply embedded that it still fires in your fully domesticated cat who has never once faced a real threat in your bathroom. The sprint isn't about the litter box, it's about relief. It's the nervous system exhaling after a moment of instinctual exposure. Your cat feels genuinely safer the second they're moving. And if you've ever noticed your cat looking almost surprised at their own speed after zooming out, that's exactly what you're watching. An ancient loop completing itself in a world that no longer requires it. But the body doesn't know that. The body just runs. 3. The stress signal hiding in plain sight. Here's where Zoomies shift from purely instinctual to emotionally revealing. Because not all Zoomies come from the same place. Some are playful, some are energetic, and some are a quiet sign that something is off. When a cat carries low-level chronic stress, from a change in routine, a new animal in the house, an unfamiliar smell, or simply a lack of control over their environment, their body holds that tension the same way it holds unexpended predatory energy. And sometimes the only exit available is movement. Explosive, frantic, full-body movement that looks exactly like a happy Zoomie from the outside. The common mistake is assuming Zoomies always mean a joyful cat. That assumption can cause you to miss something important. Stress-driven Zoomies tend to carry different body language if you know where to look. The eyes go wider than usual. The body feels tighter, less fluid. The cat may knock things over not from playfulness, but because the release isn't fully controlled. And afterward, instead of settling calmly, they might groom obsessively, hide or stay restless in a way that feels different from normal post-zoom behavior. The behavior looks identical on the surface, but the emotional engine underneath is completely different. A cat zooming after an active play session and a cat zooming after a stressful car ride are running on entirely different fuel. Your cat can't tell you they're overwhelmed, but their body will show you every time if you're paying close enough attention. 4. What Zoomies say about how much your cat trusts you. Here's something most people never think to consider. Where your cat chooses to zoom tells you something about how safe they feel, and who they zoom toward tells you something about how much they trust you specifically. Cats don't lose control just anywhere. They zoom in spaces where they feel secure, where the terrain is known, every corner familiar, every landing predictable. A cat that runs wild through the entire house, including rooms where you spend most of your time, is making a quiet statement. They feel safe enough in your presence to be completely uninhibited. For an animal that never truly turns off its awareness of the environment, that kind of abandon is significant. But here's where it gets deeper. Some cats don't just zoom near you, they zoom toward you. They'll run a full lap of the house and skid to a stop directly at your feet. Or they'll launch themselves onto the couch right beside you mid-sprint, like you were the destination the whole time. Research into feline social bonding suggests this is an instinct-driven invitation, a way of pulling someone they consider part of their inner circle into a moment of pure, unfiltered aliveness. Your cat isn't just running, they're running to you. That distinction is small in appearance and enormous in meaning. It reframes the entire behavior from chaotic energy to something that looks, when you really see it, a lot like belonging. 5. When Zoomies stop being harmless. Everything so far frames Zoomies as instinctual, readable, and often emotionally positive. But there's a version of this behavior that deserves a completely different kind of attention. And this is what we've been building toward from the beginning. In cats who have been calm and settled for most of their lives, particularly in cats over 8 or 9 years old, a sudden and significant increase in Zoomie behavior can be a signal worth taking seriously. Hyperthyroidism, neurological changes, and early feline cognitive decline can all produce restlessness, and sudden bursts of frantic, repetitive movement. On the surface, it looks like Zoomies, but the source isn't instinctual energy or pent-up predatory drive. It's the body misfiring. The difference matters. A young cat that zooms after a play session is completing a biological cycle. A senior cat that suddenly starts sprinting through the house at night, especially if it's paired with increased vocalization, changes in appetite, disorientation after the episode, or a general shift in personality, is communicating something physical, something that deserves a conversation with a vet, not just a laugh and a scroll. This isn't meant to create alarm. Most Zoomies, in most cats, are exactly what they appear to be: alive, instinctual, and completely normal. But the difference between a playful sprint and a warning sign is context, pattern, and knowing your cat well enough to notice when something has quietly shifted. That level of awareness is what separates someone who lives with a cat from someone who truly understands one. Your cat will never explain themselves to you. They won't tell you that they're carrying 3 hours of pent-up predatory energy, or that the world felt too tight today and they needed to let something out, or that they trust you enough to be completely wild in your presence. They don't have those words, but they have their body. They have the sprint at 2 in the morning, and the leap out of the litter box, and the full-speed skid that ends right at your feet. They have every frantic, wide-eyed, completely uninhibited burst of motion. And inside each one, something real is being said. The next time your cat zooms, don't just laugh and move on. Watch where they go. Notice what came right before it. See whether they loop back to you. Because in that 30-second blur of motion and noise, your cat is telling you something true about who they are, what they're carrying, and how much they trust the world they live in with you. You just have to be paying attention.